They left. Not dramatically, not loudly, quietly. One by one. The friends stopped calling. The partner stopped caring. The support faded. The messages slowed. The room got empty. And suddenly, it was just me, and silence, and pain. You don't realize how loud people are in your life until they disappear. You don't realize how dependent you were on support until it vanishes. You don't realize how weak you are until you're alone. And that's where this story begins. Not with applause, not with success, with abandonment. The leaving. They left when it got hard. They left when I stopped being convenient. They left when I needed them most. They left when the money got tight. They left when I wasn't winning. They left when I was rebuilding. And that's when the truth hit me. People love potential, but they leave pressure. People love your dreams, but they disappear during discipline. People love the highlight, but they can't handle the grind. Was I too broken? But after anger came clarity. They didn't leave because I was weak. They left because I was becoming. And not everyone is meant to go with you to the next level. The lonely war. Loneliness is brutal. Nobody prepares you for it. The nights feel longer. The silence feels heavier. Your mind becomes louder. Doubt becomes aggressive. You sit there thinking, maybe they were right. Maybe I am too much. Maybe I should shrink. Maybe I should settle. Maybe I should stop trying. And this is where most people break. This is where most people go back. Back to comfort. Back to approval. Back to being liked. But I stayed. I stayed when it hurt. I stayed when it was quiet. I stayed when it was empty. I stayed when no one checked on me. I stayed when nobody clapped. I stayed when I could have quit. And something powerful happened. The silence stopped hurting. It started teaching. Discipline isolates. You see, when people leave, you have two choices: collapse or concentrate. I chose concentration. I stopped scrolling, stopped complaining, stopped explaining, stopped chasing, stopped begging for attention. I started training, started reading, started building, started learning, started mastering my mind. Real story. David Goggins was overweight, depressed, working a normal job. Nobody saw him as a future legend. He stayed. He trained. He became relentless. Now he's known worldwide for mental toughness. Cristiano Ronaldo left home at 12 years old, lonely, homesick, uncertain. He stayed. He trained. He outworked talent. Now, he's one of the greatest athletes ever. Nobody stayed with them. They stayed with themselves. That's the difference. The shift. There was a moment, a subtle shift. The loneliness turned into focus. The silence turned into clarity. The rejection turned into fuel. I stopped needing validation. I stopped explaining my goals. I stopped announcing my plans. I started executing. Quietly, consistently, daily. When you stop chasing people and start chasing growth, you become dangerous. Dangerous not in anger, but in discipline. Dangerous not in ego, but in focus. Dangerous not in noise, but in results. They notice again. Here's the funny part. When you stop chasing, they come back. When you stop explaining, they get curious. When you stop needing, they start watching. But by then, you've evolved. You don't hate them, you thank them, because they left and you stayed. The dangerous version. The dangerous version of you is not loud. It's structured. It's routine-driven. It's calm under pressure. It doesn't react emotionally. It doesn't argue. It doesn't waste time. It wakes up early. It trains daily. It protects focus. It values peace. It moves strategically. They left. You stayed. You became disciplined. You became resilient. You became unstoppable. Let me say this clearly. Not everyone who leaves is a loss. Some departures are upgrades. Some goodbyes are blessings. Some silence is preparation. They left, so I had no choice but to grow. So if you're in that season right now, where it feels empty, where the phone is quiet, where support is gone, where you feel abandoned, good. This is your forge. This is your fire. This is your moment. Don't waste it. Don't numb it. Don't run from it. Use it. They left. Stay. Train. Build. Sharpen. Grow. Because when the storm passes, you won't be the same person. You'll be disciplined. You'll be structured. You'll be focused. You'll be dangerous. And we're not done yet. They left. I stayed. I became dangerous. The ruthless discipline era. At some point, pain stops being pain. It becomes fuel. Isolation stops being loneliness. It becomes clarity. Rejection stops being heartbreak. It becomes direction. That's when the shift happens. That's when you stop surviving and start sharpening. The era of no excuses. There comes a moment in growth where you realize nobody owes you belief. Nobody owes you support. Nobody owes you understanding. And once you truly accept that, you become free. Free from validation. Free from emotional dependency. Free from waiting. And that freedom, it turns into discipline. Not soft discipline. Not when I feel like it discipline. Ruthless discipline. What ruthless discipline looks like. Ruthless discipline is waking up when your body says sleep, training when your mind says skip, working when nobody checks on you, saving when you want to spend, studying when you want to scroll, building when you want to complain. It is choosing long-term power over short-term comfort every single day. You stop negotiating with weakness. You don't argue with your alarm. You don't debate your goals. You don't feel your way through growth. You execute. The daily routine that changes everything. Let me break this down clearly. Dangerous people live by structure. They don't leave growth to chance. Morning, no phone, no noise, movement, cold water, breathing, focus. Midday, deep work, no distractions, no random scrolling. Evening, skill building, reflection, planning tomorrow, repeat. That's not extreme, that's intentional, and intention compounds. Real example, consistency wins. There was a man who started lifting weights at 16. He wasn't special, not genetically gifted, but he showed up daily for years. Decades later, people called him a legend, but they didn't see the mornings. They didn't see the repetition. They didn't see the sacrifice. They saw results. The world celebrates outcomes, but outcomes are built in obscurity. The financial rebuild. Let's talk real life. When people leave, sometimes money leaves too. Sometimes support was financial. Sometimes opportunity disappears. So what do dangerous people do? They learn. They study money. They build skills. They increase value. They don't blame the system. They become too valuable to ignore. You don't complain about being broke. You increase your skill set. You don't argue about opportunity. You create it. That's dangerous. The mindset rewire. Most people never reprogram themselves. They stay stuck in victim language. They left me. They hurt me. They ruined my life. Dangerous mindset says, they trained me. They strengthened me. They forced me to evolve. That shift, that's power. When you stop needing revenge, here's the real growth. You don't win because you want revenge. You win because you want mastery. Revenge is emotional. Mastery is disciplined. Revenge fades. Mastery compounds. You stop trying to prove people wrong. You start proving yourself right. That's next level power. You become unbothered. One of the strongest traits you develop? Emotional control. Criticism doesn't shake you. Absence doesn't break you. Silence doesn't scare you, because you've survived worse. When you can sit alone without anxiety, when you can train without praise, when you can build without applause, you've reached a dangerous level. They notice the difference. And then it happens. Energy shifts, presence shifts, your posture shifts. People feel it. They don't understand it, but they feel it. You're calmer, less reactive, more grounded, more confident. Not loud, just solid. That's discipline showing. The legacy realization. At some point you realize, this was never about them. It was about who you were becoming. They were just catalysts, temporary characters in a permanent transformation. If they stayed, maybe you wouldn't have evolved. If they supported, maybe you wouldn't have sharpened. If they believed, maybe you wouldn't have built belief in yourself. They left, so you could grow. Final build. Let me say this slowly. They left. I stayed. I trained. I structured my life. I mastered my mind. I controlled my emotions. I increased my value. I stopped chasing. I stopped explaining. I stopped reacting. I became disciplined. I became focused. I became dangerous. Not to them, to average, to weakness, to mediocrity. I stayed. I became dangerous. Not because I hated them, but because I mastered myself. And now, I don't chase, I attract. I don't explain, I execute. I don't react, I respond. And that is power. They left. I stayed. I became dangerous. The isolation that built the monster. They left. And at first, I thought that was the tragedy. But I was wrong. The tragedy would have been if I left myself. And that almost happened. The real dark season. Isolation is not poetic when you're inside it. It's not aesthetic. It's not cinematic. It's cold. It's quiet. It's long. It's the kind of silence that forces you to hear your own thoughts. And when you've spent years avoiding yourself, that silence is violent. At first, I tried to fill it. More scrolling, more noise, more distractions, more fake productivity. But the loneliness kept returning. Because the problem wasn't the room, the problem was me. And then one night, something changed. No music, no dramatic speech, just truth. I asked myself, if everyone leaves, who remains? The answer? Me. And that terrified me, because I had never built a relationship with myself. When you have no one left. When you have no one left, you see clearly. You see how dependent you were, how attached you were, how comfortable you were. You see how much of your identity was built on other people's presence, their validation, their attention, their approval. And when that disappears, you feel naked, exposed, small. But here's the thing about being stripped down. It forces you to rebuild correctly. No fake layers, no performance, no pretending, just foundation. The decision that changed everything. I made one decision, not 10, not a big dramatic overhaul, just one. I will not collapse. That's it. Not, I will dominate the world. Not, I will become rich. Not, I will prove them wrong. Just, I will not collapse. Because collapse is easy. Scrolling is easy. Complaining is easy. Blaming is easy. Discipline is not. The first month. The first month was brutal. There was no transformation, no visible progress, no applause, just routine. Wake up, train, read, work, sleep, repeat. And every day felt boring. But boring is where power is built. Because most people can't survive boring. They need excitement. They need drama. They need constant stimulation. But growth? Growth is repetitive. Growth is monotonous. Growth is lonely. Real story, the power of staying. Let me tell you something real. There was a young athlete who didn't get drafted. No team wanted him. He trained alone. No spotlight, no interviews, no fame. He stayed. He kept training, kept showing up. Eventually, he became one of the most dominant players in his league. Why? Because when everyone left, he didn't. That's the pattern. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's staying. When you stop needing them. Something powerful happens when you stop needing people. You stop reacting emotionally. You stop chasing validation. You stop arguing. You stop explaining your goals. And that silence, it makes people uncomfortable because they were used to controlling your attention. Now they can't. And that's when you become dangerous. Not because you're angry, but because you're focused. Not because you hate them, but because you don't need them. That's power. The shift in energy. One day I noticed something. I was calmer, sharper, less reactive, more disciplined. I wasn't waking up sad anymore. I was waking up intentional. There's a difference. Sadness drains. Intention directs. I stopped saying, "Why did they leave?" I started saying, "Good." Because every person who left removed distraction. Every goodbye cleared noise. Every silence sharpened my focus. Dangerous is not violent. Let me be clear. When I say I became dangerous, I don't mean angry. I don't mean reckless. I mean disciplined, structured, focused, calm under pressure, unshaken by opinion, unmoved by doubt, unbothered by absence. That kind of dangerous. The kind that wins quietly. When they come back. Here's the interesting part. When you build in silence, when you stay disciplined, when you level up without noise, people notice. The same ones who left start watching. They don't understand the shift. They feel it. Your posture changes. Your voice changes. Your standards change. And suddenly, they remember you. But you remember who stayed, and it wasn't them. It was you. The final realization. The greatest gift they gave me was departure. Because if they had stayed, I might have stayed small. If they had supported, I might have depended. If they had believed, I might have performed instead of transformed. They left. So I had no choice but to grow. So if you're in that season right now, where it feels empty, where the phone is quiet, where support is gone, where you feel abandoned, good. This is your forge. This is your fire. This is your moment. Don't waste it. Don't numb it. Don't run from it. Use it. They left. Stay. Train. Build. Sharpen. Grow. Because when the storm passes, you won't be the same person. You'll be disciplined. You'll be structured. You'll be focused. You'll be dangerous. And we're not done yet.